Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get happy with Dr. Marissa. And I'm here every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of Burbank, California with UBN Go Radio. And then every Monday at 6 on my syndicated CNBC NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and everywhere on demand on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and every single other outlet there is, Spotify. So grateful that you are continuing to follow and support as I splatter more hope and happiness on you, because this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have lots of guests and topics that are constantly cajoling you into more hope and happiness. If you missed any of the past shows with Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali, or my power panel with Michael Bernard Beckwith, Neil Donald Walsh, Bishop Carlton, and then Marianne from Gilligan's Island, and Corey Feldman, Happy Days Anson Williams, who you know, and then my red carpet interviews are all on my YouTube channel, including Halle Berry and John Travolta and Quincy Jones. So please connect with me everywhere that I am, because I'm on a mission. My Happy 88 mission is 8 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So thank you for helping me with that mission. And helping me today with that mission is someone who absolutely, I can't believe that it's taken 7 years for me to get you here. I honestly thought that you already were on the show, but so my bad. She's the first actress with a disability to be cast in a series role. Geri Jewell recreates her role in the film version of the HBO hit series Deadwood and appears along with star-studded cast of Joey Travolta, who's John's older brother, Carol of the Bells, featuring 70% of a crew and cast with disabilities. I met her 7 years ago, sharing a stage speaking at the California Women's Conference, and she looks exactly the same. Oh. And yes, and so please welcome to my studio in person, Geri Jewell.
Thank you. Finally.
I honestly thought that I had you on already, and
we
I
talked
don't know.
about it.
Okay, so we did talk about it.
Yes.
But now it's a reality, and you are here, and I'm so grateful. You are one of my favorite people on the planet, and I don't say that very lightly. I don't say that to everybody. In fact, it's been a little while, but the reason why is you are the poster child of I can do it. I mean, really. Let's go back. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Geri Jewell has cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy.
Yes, and you've had it since what age?
Birth.
Since birth. And did your mom or dad know before you were born that you had?
No.
So you were born, they diagnosed you at what age?
18.
18 months.
Yep.
Yeah. She noticed your mom?
Yeah, she knew intuitively that there was something wrong because I had 2 older brothers and I wasn't developing as quickly. And my mom and dad sacrificed a lot. They picked up their whole home base in Buffalo, New York, and moved to California to Lancaster to get me diagnosed at UCLA Medical Center.
And then you got diagnosed, And then you grew up. Did you know, what age did you know that you were different?
Let's put it this way. I always knew I was different, but I didn't become aware of how different until high school.
And then people made fun of you.
Well, that was always the case. It wasn't that. It was that I didn't get asked out on dates or prom or football games, so it was very different.
And then you did not crawl under the covers and stay there. It seemed to develop in you a burning desire to do something.
Well, I decided that I wanted to be a comedic actress probably at age 12 or 13.
Why?
Because for one reason, I had a pen pal relationship with Carol Burnett. And I told her that I loved the fact that people were laughing with her, not at her. And my dream was to do what she did someday. And she always wrote me back, and she told me never to quit, to get into acting in every capacity. She said there was no guarantee that I would become professional. She said there's no guarantees in life, period. The important thing is to put out the effort and to try, because no one knows what they can do unless they try. So Carol Burnett was a big initial inspiration for me. Wow. Absolutely.
That's amazing. Are you still in
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's actually performing at one of my new show sponsors.
Is she?
She's going to be at the Savant Theater. So I think we should go.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, I'll get you some tickets.
Okay.
I'm sure you can get your own tickets, but
I would love to be your guest.
Yeah, I would love that. So she believed in you.
Yes.
She never said, well, she
never
said,
it was interesting because by the time I got to high school and college, of course, I was put into state rehabilitation's hands, and I told them that's what I wanted to do. And they said, no, it's unrealistic. There are no jobs for people like you in the entertainment industry. You need to get realistic. And and my answer was always, but Carol Burnett said I couldn't.
Really good. Way to hold him back. I mean, way to name drop. That was a good name drop. If you're gonna name drop, you might as well use someone that everybody knows.
And the funny thing is, I was so young for my age. I mean, emotionally, I didn't catch up until years later.
Okay.
But every time I got in a scuffle with rehab, dear Carol Burnett.
That's hilarious. So I'm gonna go there because you brought up the na rehab. So let's go there for a second. So what happened? You had some success, right?
I did.
You had huge amounts of success. Norman Lear cast you. Facts of Life. You're like a main character.
Yes.
You're in the Guinness World Book of Records, I'm sure, as the first woman with a
first woman with a disability and first person with a visible disability.
Right, to be playing on major network.
Yes.
Facts of Life. How many seasons?
4.
4 seasons. It seems weird because it seems like more than that. The early shows, because I had Marianne from Gilligan's Island, Dawn Wells on the show, right? And you would think Gilligan's Island had played for at least 10 years. 3 seasons, that's it. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
And that's like an iconic, right?
It is.
Right? Everybody knows
Absolutely.
that. So you got cast. You did 6 seasons. You did them
4.
well. 4
Don't
seasons.
exaggerate.
How big was it? So we're not going there. So 4 seasons, and then what cut up with you?
What cut off?
What cut up with you that you had to go to rehab?
Oh, you mean drug rehab?
Yeah.
I didn't go to drug rehab until 1999 after spinal cord surgery. I had neck surgery from C1 to C7. my whole neck. That's why I can't turn my head left or right, because it's 45% titanium, 6 screws, and 2 plates.
Is that from?
It's a combination of wearing down from CP, because if you look at my earlier performances, my head moved a lot.
Okay.
And so the head movement is going to really wear down those bones and muscles. And then on top of that, I was in so much pain, so much neck pain for years, that I did take a lot of drugs to deal with that, with the physical pain in the neck and also emotional pain of surviving Hollywood, I guess.
Okay.
So it was a combination of both.
Okay.
And when I had neck surgery, of course they're going to put you even on heavier drugs.
Right.
And so I made that decision on my own. It was 30 days. 30 days.
It was a combination Hollywood pain. So Hollywood pain of
Well,
rejection.
no, not so much rejection. You have to understand, I came out of a very sheltered environment in special ed, and I didn't know that there were people that lied, wolves in sheepskin. That was a rude awakening to someone like me.
Sure.
Because I always saw the good in everybody.
And you still do.
I still do.
Still do. Yeah.
And my first manager when I was on Fact of Life basically embezzled all my money. I was broke.
Oh, yeah.
And because I was so sheltered, I didn't have a lot of experience, interaction with dating or anything, and all of a sudden I'm known by millions. Who do you trust?
Right.
It was a very hard road, even though I was emotionally an adult when I got Facts of Life. I was 23.
Okay.
But emotionally, I was probably 12.
Okay.
So I can relate to child stars very easily, because even though I was chronologically an adult, I was emotionally a child star.
Interesting. Is there a solution to that, do you think? Because I've had Corey Feldman on, and he talks about that too.
Yeah.
How do you trust? And that movie Honey Boy that's out right now, right?
Exactly.
Same thing.
Yep.
So advice?
Don't be afraid to ask others for their opinion. Don't be so... I'm an adult. I can make my own decision. I can do it. It's okay to ask for help.
Good point. And if you're just tuned in and you're wondering who I am speaking to live in studio, this wonderful beneficial presence on the planet. By the way, I'm going to give you that award. Let's formally give it to her. Geri Jewell gets Dr. Marissa's beneficial presence on the planet. There's applause that you can't hear because you don't have these on, but you just got applause. And Geri Jewell is the first woman, actually she's the first actress, period, actor, right, male or female, to be cast in a major network. And then not just Facts of Life. You've been on Deadwood too.
Yes.
Correct? For how many seasons?
It was 3 seasons.
Don't exaggerate.
And then
3
I just
seasons.
did the Deadwood movie.
And then you just did the Deadwood movie. When's that coming out?
That came out.
It did?
It aired on HBO in May.
HBO, that's why.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I saw the T-shirt picture. I like that. Yeah. And then you're coming out with another movie. Has it come out?
Carol of the Bells.
Carol of the Bells.
It's already out.
It's already out on...
It's showing in theaters. It's showing in San Diego right now.
It is. Okay. And that is an amazing movie. I first wanted you on. I didn't want to share you with anyone else. But I do want to have another show where I bring on Joey Travolta, John's older brother, who it's his movie, right?
Yes, it is.
And then 70% of cast and crew are disabled.
Yes.
In some form or the other, and I think that is unbelievable. And the picture's coming out now. There's inspiration comes in all abilities. Is that what it says? That's so cool. Did you have fun doing that?
I did. I'm only in one scene,
Okay.
and it was a scene with R.J. Mitty, who I know in life. He has cerebral palsy from Breaking Bad.
Okay.
So it was an opportunity to work with him for the first time. And I said to Joey Travolta, I said, yeah, I like the role, but what are the odds of somebody with cerebral palsy bumping into somebody with cerebral palsy in a church on Christmas Eve and sitting next to each other? And he laughed. He goes, well, it can happen, I know, but the odds are very slim. I said, I don't buy it. And he said, so you don't want to do the role? And I said, no, I'll do the role, but I won't have cerebral palsy. And he said, well, how are you going to hide it? And I said, make me a nun.
Did he do it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's so funny.
I said, put me in a habit, and I'll try not to move a lot.
That is so funny.
And, you know, it's a precious little role for me. And what you don't know, and you probably met her at the California Women's Conference. Did you get to meet my sister Gloria?
Yes, I did.
Well,
in the
she
green room.
passed. She passed 2.5 years ago, and it has been the most traumatic death that I've ever had to go through in my whole life.
So sorry.
And so I asked Joey if he would name my character Sister Gloria after my sister. And so it's a very special role for me.
Oh, she's here. I feel her.
Yes, she is, isn't
She's
she?
here. She's here.
Yep.
I remember her very well because she still loves you.
Thank you.
But I saw that love so. I mean,
Yep.
she really.
Even though we were 3 years apart, we were closer than most twins.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh. So this show is dedicated to Gloria,
The role.
the role.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
it. Sister Gloria.
The Sister Gloria, and also another person who's on the other side with Gloria now, which is
Carol Spenny.
yeah, Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Yeah. So, I have this very, very firm belief that when there really is no death, it's transition.
I agree.
And so they're on the other side with my dad.
Oh,
And my dog Destiny and Dr. Jimmy and Dr. Carl and all the people, Michael, my best friend from grad school, and they're all loving us from over there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And I paid tribute to Carol yesterday on Facebook.
Oh, you did?
I said, if happy yellow big birds fly beyond the rainbow, why oh why can't I?
How beautiful is that?
Rest in peace, Carol Spenny.
Oh, that's so, and isn't that weird? I didn't know you did that. And I've been running promos with you
And
with
Big
that
Bird.
picture.
Oh my God.
And I had no idea. And I had no idea. I mean, how many pictures there's thousands of pictures on you on Images, and which one do I pick out?
It's Carol. It's Carol speaking to me saying I'm here. He was an earth angel. He really was, and I was so blessed to know him, to work with him.
Very lucky you are.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get that chance. But I've got a little, I had a dream, and this is just for you. So I had a dream, and I went and flew into heaven, like the bluebird, and I saw my dad and all the people that I love sitting around a big screen TV. And I flew in closer, and I'm like, what are they doing? And they're all in heaven, and they're sitting, and they're watching, and every once in a while they go, yay! And then they go back to watching. And I flew in. I'm like, what the heck are they watching, right? So your sister is now in that same group, in the big screen TV, and she's watching, and guess what she's watching? Your life right now. And every time something good happens, she goes, "Yay!"
Oh,
Isn't that a beautiful dream that I had?
wow, yes.
Yes. So she's now meeting my dad, and they're sitting and they're watching.
Yay.
And I love the fact that this is the season of joy when
It
we
is.
remember those who've passed. But I'm going to give like my 28-second cajole you into leaving your holiday blues. Because the one thing that people do during the holidays is they forget that people had more than just that last breath, right? And they get sad about missing. But the reality is they had a huge life, and there's so many wonderful things you can remember, not just that they passed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that to you, that
Thank
this
you.
season, you know, she's there cheering you on.
I know she is.
Isn't that great?
I feel her daily.
I'm sure you do. She's there daily. You cannot, death can't separate the love that you guys had. So thank you for sharing her with me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, okay. So we're taking a breath.
And what are we going to do with our next breath?
We are going to talk about your favorite moments in life that you've had. Favorite moments in life. You have lived, you have a book, right?
Yes.
And you highlighted in that book. What are some things in that book that I would be surprised to know about you?
Oh, gosh. There's so many. I would say one of my favorite memorable experiences in life was when I did I Love Liberty for Norman Lear.
Uh-huh.
It was in 1982, and at the LA Convention Center, there was 25,000 people in the audience that night. And it was huge celebrities, Christopher Reeve, Mary Tyler Moore,
Nice.
Patty Duke, you know, John Wayne, Barbara Streisand. And
How
I
old
was
were
a
you?
newbie.
You were a
You
newbie.
know,
You were
I-
20-something.
Yeah, but Norman Lear wanted me to play the American disabled person. And I walked up 6 flights of steps to my place on crutches, you know, to look more disabled.
Right. I don't think I've ever heard that said. I did that to look more disabled. Only you, Geri. Only you.
And I stood center stage, went into a comedy routine. 25,000 people did not laugh. They were staring at me. And I thought, oh my God, this is a really, really short career. And I thought it was over at that point. And I dropped the crutches on the stage. I had tears in my eyes. And I said, you know what? I need help real bad. Norman Lear came running down from the control booth. He came up on stage. He thought that I was having a nervous breakdown.
Oh my gosh.
That he had given me too much responsibility too early, too young. And he's holding me in his arms in front of 25,000 people.
No.
And he said, are you okay? And I backed him up and I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, Norman, I'm fine, but the material sucks. And
This is live.
He said, yeah, it was like, no, thank God it was going to be in the 11th hour. What network was it? I think it was ABC. They decided to air a movie, and it aired the following week. It would have been live,
Oh my
thank God.
Yeah.
And he backed me up. He said, Geri, read my lips. Your mic isn't on. That's why they weren't laughing. They couldn't hear anything I said.
Oh.
And he put his arms around me and he turned me around on stage and he said, how many people out there want to give this girl a second chance? and they gave me a standing ovation.
Aww.
And so I did the whole routine again a second time.
And they all laughed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got another
that's-
two standing ovations.
Hey, you do what you gotta tell the director his material sucks, and then you get 2 standing ovations. What the heck, right?
Yes.
Only you,
Only
you,
me.
only you. Yeah, like this is what I can't. You know, you are. I've been speaking with another inspiring woman. I mentioned her to you
Yes.
on the way up, and I want you two to meet. Is Jessica Cox, who was born without arms, and it just kills me, or it absolutely. I have no patience for anyone who says I can't do that, or it's too hard, or I don't want to try, or what if people laugh at me, or I can't. And I think of you, and I think of Jessica. You have cerebral palsy. She has no arms. You grow up in rehabilitation in state whatever that tells you can't do that, and you just do it anyways. Like, where does that come from?
For me, I think it comes from, I'm an old soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I came into the world to do something. Regardless of the circumstances, I'm going to do what I came into the world to do. And I firmly believe that. And my mom was a big part of my development. And I think she always said, Geri, there's a whole world out there, and the sky is the limit.
So she was.
Oh,
Yeah, Jessica's mom was the
In
same way.
fact, when I was in high school, I was taking driver's ed, and they kept skipping my name for road test. So I went home and I told my mom, I said, what's the point of taking driver's ed if they don't let me drive the car?
Right.
And my mom wrote Sacramento, wrote our congressman, and said that the high school was prejudiced and that they had to teach my daughter how to drive.
Wow.
Now, I've met a lot of people with disabilities, adults today, whose parents would not let them learn how to drive.
Right.
My mom was, no, you're going to learn how to drive.
So that does help explain. So she definitely was, who says you can't?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what if there are people out there who don't have that kind of support? Where do they get the depths of that I can do it?
Well, when I was and I haven't told this story publicly.
Oh, I love when that happens.
But when I was a teenager, well, I have told this part that I was very lonely and didn't have a lot of friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And what friendships I did have in high school, some of them were dysfunctional. Mm. And I had a lot of teachers, helping me.
Right.
But as far as going home from school, I didn't have that.
Go over to someone's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I created a whole fantasy world for myself. Mm-hmm. And I can remember, and I'm telling you this story for a reason, there was a freeway, the 57 freeway, which was right next to my house. And I used to go and hit tennis balls against the cement wall for hours and hours and hours and hours. And in my mind, I was a professional tennis player. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason I'm telling you that story is because in 1984, I was asked to do the ABC Wide World of Sports playing tennis with Arthur Ashe and John McEnroe. And I just came to this awareness fairly recently. I realized that I already created this in high school. Wow. And it manifested in my real life.
I did not pay her to say that. I talk about law of attraction, and people think I'm crazy. But you manifested that, literally.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you play them?
Yes, on ABC Wide World of Sports.
Did you beat them? I mean, you can't play both of them at the
we
same
played
time.
doubles, and the Arthur Ashe had the partner, Wayne Cook, who also had cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So they were thinking that a CP and a pro and a CP and a pro weren't even matched.
Right.
But truthfully, I was a real bad tennis player. And I kept missing every single ball. I mean, you could hear Howard Cosell saying, "And Jerry missed it again." And then I actually scored. I got a point. And the only reason I got the point was because everybody was so shocked that I hit it. Nobody went after it. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
So-
hilarious. But you wanted that to happen.
Yes.
And you
Every
so the
person.
power of imagination.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was in high school, my fantasy, my crush was David Cassidy.
Oh, mine too.
Yes.
I met him at a party actually.
Okay. I've met him several times.
Yeah. Did you tell him?
Oh, yeah.
What did he say? Join the millions that already do?
No. I don't know if you have time to hear this story.
Okay. Well, we do have to break, but I do want to hear the story.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. So this is a good time to take a little break, and then we'll come back with Geri Jewell's story of her crush on David Cassidy, exclusively here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get happy with Dr. Marissa. We're going to be back in 2 and 2 when we pause to thank the sponsors who make this positive show possible. If you are someone with a product or service that would like to promote with Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah's endorsement, then please do contact me for very affordable rates. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
Is it going up?
Want to listen to Air Supply, Jefferson Starship, Dionne Warwick, Carol Burnett, Styx, REO Speedwagon, Michael Bolton, or Burt Bacharach? Well, you will want to check out the beautiful Saban Theater in Beverly Hills, California. For tickets to the classic, the exciting, the memorable, and the ageless, go to www.wheremusicmeetsthesoul.com. And stay tuned for Asian Oprah tickets right here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get happy with Dr. Marissa. And we are back. You can't, there's like applause just for you. With Geri Jewell, the first actress with disability to be cast by Norman Lear. She's been on many big shows. Deadwood, just did the Deadwood movie, Carol of the Bells, and she's here in my studio. We met, if you weren't here for the first half of the show, 7 years ago when I first started the show. And by the way, I forgot to say this is my 397th consecutive week on the air, on camera. So grateful, and I can't think of a better person to have on for the almost 400th episode. And Geri Jewell was just about to tell us about your crush on David Cassidy. And for those millennials that are listening right now, David Cassidy was on The Partridge Family. And Partridge Family was a huge TV show back in the day. But I'm not going to say if I know about that or not because I'm ageless. But anyways.
Oh, yeah, right.
Don't bust my age. Okay. Don't bust my age bubble. Okay, go ahead. So you had a crush.
I did. And remember, I told you I didn't have any boyfriends in high school. And I have this somewhere in storage. When I was in high school, I cut out a picture of David Cassidy's face and wrote on the... It was an interesting thing I wrote on the back because I was only 15 years old.
Oh.
I said, "This is David Cassidy, and I haven't met him yet, but I will."
Another manifestation.
Yeah, and I carried his picture in my wallet as if he were my boyfriend.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And then you told him this, and what did he say? Did he put a
Well,
restraining
no, I
order
never
on you?
told him
No.
that, but he knows now.
Yeah, he knows now, David.
But a friend of mine knew I had a huge crush on him, and I think it was 1980, maybe 85 or something like that. And he was going to be a guest on the Good Morning LA.
Okay.
And so a friend of mine, Keith Jennings, called the producer and said, Geri has a huge crush on David. Can she meet him? Oh, God, of course. We'll put her name on the gate. Just tell her to come up to the green room and she can say hello backstage.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was so nervous. I wanted to meet him, but what am I going to say? And I'm sitting in the green room, and David walks in, and he's walking over to me. And he said, Geri Jewell. I mean, he knew me.
Wow.
I was like, yeah.
When's the wedding date?
And you're David Cassidy. He said, yes, I am. And he said, well, I didn't realize we were doing the show together. How cool. You want to get makeup first? And I said, no, you can get your makeup first. That's okay. And okay, I'll see you later. And my friend Keith looked at me. He goes, why did you tell him you were doing the show with him?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want him to think I was a groupie.
Oh.
And he said, but you're not doing it. How are you going to break it to him?
Yeah.
I said, we can leave right now. Let's just leave. And he said, Geri, you have wanted to meet him ever since 1971. If you don't tell him the truth when he comes back, I'll never talk to you again. I said,
Pressure.
So David comes back, and he says, okay, you can go get makeup. And I said, well, David, I have to tell you something. I'm not doing the show with you. I came here to meet you, and I've had a crush on you ever since 1971. And I didn't have any boyfriends, and you were my boyfriend. And there were times when I was so lonely. And at least I had a relationship with you, whatever. And he took my hands in his hands, and he said, Geri, calm down, breathe. He said, I have to tell you that I have banged my head against the wall so many times, wondering, why did I do the Partridge Family? And then I meet people like you, and you tell me why.
Oh.
And he kissed me, and he...
On the lips?
No.
Oh, okay.
On the
Sorry.
On the cheek.
Okay.
But this is the funny part. I taped the show at home. It was being taped. He was mic'd up, and somebody switched Christina DeLorean's mic to his. And when you see the tape, I have it. One of these days, I'm going to put it on a DVD.
Yeah.
But you see Christina's mouth moving, but all you hear is David saying, Geri, calm down.
Oh, wow.
You hear this whole interaction. Ooh. And I don't know if it was an accident.
No. It was that kind of accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that? That's a great story.
I know, and I have it.
Story. How cool is that?
So it validates that I told the truth.
Yeah, for sure. That's a beautiful story. How cool is that? So you and I hope you know how incredibly one of a kind, wonderful you are. Like I hope,
thank you.
Like deep down, because it's something that I know your sister would say, and she knew it, and I know it, and everybody knows it. Well, not everybody, but not the sheep. The ones we were talking about.
Trust me,
before.
I can name a few. Don't.
This is a nice show. We're not going to name,
I know.
keep that to
I
the
didn't
innocent,
say that.
to protect the guilty. We're going to no names to protect the guilty. But what do you, if I gave you 3 wishes for the world, what would they be?
inner peace, no more division, realizing that we are all connected. Prejudice is such a waste of time. It's so sad.
Yeah.
And to please save our planet.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. What next? What's next for you?
Well, I did just film a 2-hour documentary on Facts of Life. Wow. So that's going to be coming up for NBC.
You know who's been on my show? A friend of yours? Charlotte, right?
Oh, I love Charlotte.
I love Charlotte too.
Yes.
She's amazing.
And there's another show, but I can't say anything yet.
Oh, shh. One of those. Okay. Another. We'll find out when it happens. I'll say she couldn't talk about that.
Yeah. Everything's coming around full circle in my life, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, another thing, we have a couple minutes to talk about. Your book, right, is called?
I'm Walking as Straight as I Can.
Now, there's a little message in there.
Yes.
Yes. There's many plays on that.
Yeah, it's a play on words.
Yes.
And
when did you find out that you were
gay?
Yes.
I think I always was aware of it from the time I was a little girl. But it became evident in high school because all my crushes were really on women with the exception of David Cassidy. And, I'll tell you something. People have asked me, well, how could you be gay if you had a crush on David Cassidy? And the only answer I have to that is because it wasn't that I had a physical attraction to David Cassidy. It was David Cassidy was who I wanted to be. He was the vision of myself. I mean, if you notice, I've always had that David Cassidy hair. Always.
I did not make the connection until just before you said that. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So if you could come back without cerebral palsy,
yes,
would you?
You want me to be really honest?
Yeah.
I believe that this is my last incarnation on this planet. I took on an awful lot.
Yes, you did.
Of challenges in one life.
Yeah.
I think my guardian angels warned me. They said, no, that's too much for one life. Break it up.
Yeah. And you said no.
No. Because, and that's typical Geri Jewell.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it all in one and get it over with. I've been incarnated so many times, and I wanted to learn all the lessons that I hadn't learned previously and learn them in this life. So, truthfully, I have no desire to come back here in any human form, but I do see myself coming back and guiding others in life on another level. But I have to make sure that I learn all my lessons well at the garden party.
Yes. Yeah. So number one lesson you've learned?
To love unconditionally, to forgive. I mean, I came into this world with cerebral palsy, and that's a big thing to come into the world with.
Yes.
And I think that what it has done for me spiritually, it's taught me patience. It's taught me tolerance. It's taught me not to be so quick to judge anybody. These are huge spiritual lessons. So it is a gift, mixed blessings. That's it's a mixed
Blessing,
blessing.
yeah.
There is a lot of pain with coming in with this way,
Yeah.
but the blessing is it's taught me profound spiritual lessons in life that I may not have learned otherwise.
You are a gift, Geri.
Thank
Yourself.
you.
Yourself. Last question I ask all my guests. What are you most grateful for?
I am
Don't say David Cassidy. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'm most grateful for my ability to get up again when things get rough. And my friends and the love that has been bestowed upon me. I don't take that for granted.
Good. And you know that I love you. And you
Thank
know
you.
that Harlan loves you. And you know that there's so many people on the planet that love you and support you. And you're such an inspiration. Please, another beneficial presence on the planet just by being who you are.
Thank you.
She said. All right. And that is it for today's show, even though I would love to spend another hour with you.
I'll come back.
I know you are coming back. The fact that yes, you are coming back. And it's time for my balance bar. We're going to do this real quick. It's where I invite you to join me where I've been and where I'm going and how we are getting to Happy 88. I think there's a picture. Yes, I just got back from San Diego, did an event emceed with the ACMA, the only organization, nonprofit in the U.S. that supports Asian Voices, Asian Media Alliance. And there's a couple of pictures there. I got to share a stage with Alicia Summers, who's an anchor down in ABC, I believe, in San Diego, as well as there's Kathleen Joy, the founder, and just had a great time there. Also, happy 33rd birthday to Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, who's also my big brother. And we just celebrated 33 years, and I'll be teaching at the Silent Meditation Retreat for New Year's. So I think it's sold out, so you can't come. But I would love to see you at Agape. We'll get you there, and I want to introduce you to Michael. And let's see. I will be speaking in Kitchener, Ontario. There's a poster there with my book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, that went #1, Christian Self-Help, #4, Denver Post, 8 bestseller list. So I'll be speaking there at the Unity Kitchener, December 22nd. If you know anybody in that area, please invite them to go. I'm doing a workshop in the afternoon. If you're happy, let your face know is the name of the workshop. Also, I wanted to wish a very, very happy birthday to our founder, and someone who my first show was with him in another station, but Tony Sweet. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you. Tony Sweet, we love you so much. Happy birthday. And Monday, every 10 a.m., my Facebook Live series called Monday is the New Friday. So if you are hating your Mondays, please come and join every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We've got hundreds now. And if you missed me on ABS-CBN, the #1 news channel in the Philippines, it is now on YouTube as well as their channel. You can see my interview with Karen Davila, who they call the Philippine Oprah. So that was fun. Jessica and I got to talk to her about our Limitless tour. So if you're anyone who's looking for 2 women who have overcome physical and emotional challenges, then we are there for you. Finally, Asian Oprah giveaway from my new sponsor. I have 2 free tickets to Burt Bacharach. and that is at the Saban Theater. And you heard all of the people that are also going to be performing there, so please do visit Saban Theater or wheremusicmeetsthesoul.com and get your tickets there. But the first two to go to my website, drmarissa.life, and say Burt Bacharach, get the 2 free tickets there. And I think that's it for me. I am so grateful to have you join me. Have the happiest holiday ever. Please splash a little of my pink on your holiday blue so you come out purple, and enjoy every single moment of your holiday season of joy, because it will only come this once. Holiday season 2019. Happy, happy New Year. I'll be bringing you some encore shows while I'm speaking in Toronto, but remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. See you in 2020.
How dark it is before the dawn.